How's it going, everyone? And welcome to Male Nurse Mentor. It's the channel where, as a nurse a few years into the workforce now, I make videos that I would have found helpful when I was first starting this journey to becoming a nurse. In this video in particular, I want to take the time to speak on the pre-nursing phase. I get a lot of questions about this phase, so today I want to touch on it. This is that period of time before getting into an actual nursing program. And overall, when I look back, one of the most confusing periods of time, actually, of this journey to becoming an RN. I see a lot of people struggle here. What I relate it to is like being given a blank canvas and being asked to make a portrait, right, as a painter. The overwhelming sensation of where to begin, how to begin, is very normal in this phase. So I want to help bring clarity with today's video. But also, friends, if you have any questions, whether personal or general, if you want to reach me, find me on Instagram at Male Nurse Mentor. A lot of you have reached out already, which is awesome. Everything right now is still free. I'm still very small. I get a couple messages, not very many. I've even set up a few phone calls, video calls with a couple people. I don't know for how much longer I'll be able to offer this for free, but for now I still will, and gladly. Depends on time and how much busier I get, as life continues to go for me. But for now I will, and gladly. Just reach out to me on Instagram, hit me with a follow, just reach out. I'm here. So friends, to be transparent and help you save time, use the timestamps down below for today's video. But overall, the purpose of this video today is to help those at the very beginning of their nursing journey to pick a route, or in essence, decide where to begin. For example, in this video, I'll bring in tips from my experience, things to consider, and how to ultimately decide the best route or the best path for you. And at the very end, paint the picture of my own personal route and explain if I were to do it again, if I would do it any different, or how would I actually do it today if I also had to begin. So let's go. Step 1, friends, identify your end goal in life. So yes, I know this is a far in the horizon goal, but that is the point. One thing I've always done is decide early on how far in this life I want to go. Think about how big are my dreams. I advise setting these actually larger than what you even think is feasible. For example, do you want to help a lot of people? Do you want to contribute to society? Do you want to make good money? Do you want to live a certain lifestyle? Find out, think about it, and picture it in your mind. What you soon enough will realize is that you'll need a good paying job that is stable, that helps you build this ideal life for yourself. Nursing for me was the tool or the career that helped me mark many of these boxes for that grander picture that I had. So if you want to be a nurse, right, step 1, explore these feelings, explore your life goals. Ultimately in this step, it's about picturing your future and seeing if nursing is the tool to get you to fulfill the life that you envision. Step 2, acknowledge your time horizon. This step is going to be the difference between most people's routes. This is the difference maker. What I mean simply is this. If you're young, ages 19 through 23, you have more time to play with school, more time to make mistakes, the ability to fall down and brush off and try again. You also have the best trajectory for getting done the soonest, which means if you find a very straight path, you will become a nurse at a very young age and begin your career very young and also make pretty good money at a very young age, that nursing money. If you're 24 or older, for example, time begins to work against you, as you probably already know. This doesn't mean you can't choose the same path as someone who is younger than you. It just means that when someone's 19 and puts in 5 years of schooling, they'll be done at 24. Whereas for you, for example, at 24, puts in 5 years of schooling, you'll be done at 29. And in speaking about life, that's a pretty big difference. So because of this, I will mention my suggestion here pretty soon in step 3. But the purpose of this step here is to just get you to recognize and understand that there is a time difference here between the two age groups. And you have to identify in which one you're currently in. Life happens to us the older we get. It's just how it goes. For example, unfortunately or fortunately, right, depending on the age group, a 19-year-old just has a much bigger safety net. and margin for error than someone already 24 or 25 or even older. Step 3, identify your path. So starting off in this step, I want to suggest the path for the younger group, those aged 19 through 23, or those with financial support, more time to burn, more ability to make mistakes. Also those with acceptance that this journey just takes time. Maybe some of you are a bit older here, but you still accept this, and that's okay. You just have a means to be able to take it slower. So to put it simply here, the route is to start at a community college, complete your prerequisites, and take your time. Find what each nursing program you're applying to requires during this time. Complete all those classes, take your T's, do this all first, and when you're ready, apply and transfer to a nursing program, preferably a public school, and then you just go on your merry way. You got in. No longer a pre-nursing student. But to be transparent, this step here can easily take 2, if not 3 years, also if not more. It's pretty normal. It just takes time here. But again, you have the time. And this is the time that it takes for you to be fully ready for a nursing program. By going this path, you really want to focus on getting all A's if you can, or the best grade possible. So you do take it slow. You do methodically plan each semester to get that best outcome in each class, making yourself as competitive as possible. So that is the path if you're younger. Now, if you're older, 24 or 25 or older, or have less financial support and more financial obligations, because as I like to word it, life has happened, life happens. You need to work to pay the bills, you have children or a family. The path for you may just look a little bit different, but that's okay. Now here are some examples of some paths for you. So for the first path, I'll suggest work part-time or full-time as you need to, as you get your LVN license. Then work as an LVN. As you work as an LVN, you go to school part-time to fulfill classes for the nursing programs. This is when you would knock out those prerequisites. Complete all of these as you work. And again, this will take some time. But give yourself grace, give yourself compassion, right? Take that time. No need to rush it anymore. And as soon as you're ready, you take the leap and either find a school that allows you to work as an LVN as you are in your nursing program, or take out a loan, or if you can, lean on a partner or a spouse financially as you go into a nursing program. You can also do this path by not working as an LVN. It's not a requirement. You can work as something else, but being an LVN gets your foot in the door of healthcare. So it's a suggestion. Now, another path for you, which I only advise to this group, is to actually look into private schools. You'll soon find on your search, these schools can make it a lot easier to become a nurse. Becoming a nurse is difficult, but they just make it a bit easier, right, for the path itself. Sometimes the programs walk you through everything you need, and then at the very end, you do become a nurse. It just costs money. Money talks on this path. So you'll find a clear route, by going this way. It's just unfortunately going to cost you. And for some who are older, don't have the time to waste or the room to make mistakes, I kind of rhymed. I wasn't trying to get that to rhyme. This path might actually be a pretty good option for you. A third route, if you're really needing to kind of start from the beginning and need money pretty soon and want to try out healthcare, and this would also be a good path for those who don't have the time to do an LVN program, it would be to become a CNA first. You can find very quick CNA programs if you search. So you'd work as a CNA, and then as you work as a CNA, you begin to take classes or fulfill requirements for LVN programs or actually nursing programs, whichever one feels like the best next step for you. CNA is one of the quickest ways to get into healthcare. Get your feet wet, get a taste. The barrier for entry is pretty low. You'd get some experience this way, get some money as well. This is also a pretty decent route. The only caveat is that it's actually pretty hard on the body, and I don't suggest staying as a CNA for very long if you can avoid it. it. Burnout is very real as a CNA, and being a CNA is not like being a registered nurse. There's a lot of differences. So please don't get it confused. Like if you don't like CNA, you're not gonna like being an RN. They're just different. They have some similarities that overlap, but they're different. Being an RN, in my opinion, is much better. So lastly, friends, what was my path and what would I do differently now? So friends, I'm now gonna give you my path, and I'll be honest, I wouldn't actually do it any different. And I still most highly recommend this path if you could find a way to replicate it. In my opinion, it is the cheapest, it is the quickest path to becoming an RN. My path was very straight. There weren't many back steps on this path. And that's because I took the time early to identify and solidify that I wanted to become an RN. And I did this back in my senior year of high school. That way when I graduated, boom, I was ready with a plan. I had the horizon set and I just had to execute. So once I graduated high school, I went to community college. This was at the age of 18. Took all my prerequisites there, took my TEAS test during that time, took extra classes for every nursing program I was able to apply to. This part took me a solid 3 years to get this done. And once I began to get ready, wrapping up, these prerequisites, these pre-requirements, I applied as a transfer student to as many nursing programs as I was able to. And I eventually got into one at a CSU here in California. So for me, friends, I recommend doing it this way if you're able. I got into my nursing program at the age of 21 and I finished it at the age of 23 and a half. So there you have it, friends, a 3-step process to get your ball rolling as a pre-nursing student. If you at all have any questions, which I'm sure you do, this is a rather complicated journey with so many nuances, reach out to me. You know where to find me. Otherwise, I wish you the very best on your journey. I'm always around. You know where to find me, and I'll see you on the next one.